all of what you see behind me right now is artificial. It's all made for water runoff. When this was a natural creek before, it was still used for water runoff. So what does it mean when the function still remains the same, but now it's filled with concrete and litter? I'm not saying it doesn't have its intended use and it's not functioning as it's supposed to. I assume they made it for the purpose of, if there's a hurricane, then there's some way for massive amounts of runoff to go without destroying suburban areas around here. Look how much concrete that is. Think about that. Concrete, what is concrete? Just rock? Still taking up space from biological organisms like trees and grass to live there, which could slow runoff as it is. It really makes you question how efficient this stuff is. And it really makes you think what is necessary in a perfect society. Because nobody wants to ask the tough questions, what do we keep and what do we get rid of? Because it's a hard answer. You don't really have all the answers that you need to. Think about it. How would you make clothes that you like? How would you get around without a car? These things are kind of needed and there's no going back to a time without them. But we can utilize and create a culture where we have things that are different than intended. I don't know if you can see the water running off back there, but it looks kind of cool. So what is needed, right? So food, shelter, water, clothes, I guess. It really comes down to three main things that you need quality of, which is food, an environment that's not polluted, and that's a big ask nowadays, and I would say medical equipment. The reason why I have that answer is because people want to live and we have the knowledge to continue living. If you're hearing water in the background, it's because I now have to walk through a little bit of a flood zone to get back to my car. I was thinking, like, what would a cool society look like? Everyone has dirt bikes. We need a new chariot. We had the horse, we had the chariot, we have the car today. The car's become a little bit too modern, in my opinion, in that it's become polluted. It's completely plastic. It is extremely safe now. It does its intended function, right? Is it necessarily an overall bad thing just because I don't like the aesthetic? No. So what is needed in society? Hard question, what isn't needed? As I walk through this trail, think about how much of it is just completely artificial. They had to clear most of the area out before they put this pavement in, and in doing so, created an artificial park. This isn't what a forest would look like naturally, because deers would be constantly eating the vegetation as they graze through. Look at this. I don't know which side to show you here, but I have to walk through all this water, get my shoes all wet, because for some reason the drainage of the rain that's coming through right now goes right through the trail, and I don't know if that's the intended function again, because there's multiple avenues of how the water gets to this deeper area over here, which I'll show you on the other side. But even in this woods right here, I see a trash can that's broken. I see tons of pollution, and that's our own individual responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen. If corporations aren't going to create the products to use less of that pollutant. So in a perfect society that's in touch with nature, I said this on my gumroad, you still need some sort of city, some sort of urban area, some sort of industry, because we've come too far with technology to go back from that. And that's not a bad thing. But like, how many cities do you need to produce everything you have today? How many factories do you actually need to get all of your basic goods? It took a long time for human civilization to get to the point where we can basically make custom-made factories for specific things. And we're not gonna go back from that, as much as return to nature guys want to. But we can create more of an emphasis on natural living. Even the ability to go to this park now is a good thing. Not many people use it. I don't use it much. But I'd rather be surrounded by the ability to go to the park and have the park around me than not have the park at all. Even if I don't get to enjoy things that are maybe more modern, like golf or more stores. Sometimes people need things taken away from them because they shouldn't have access to it anyways, right? If you look right here, there's a whole other system of runoff that isn't even being used. It's goes all the way through, but all the water comes out on this side, and on this side, I don't know if it's because of the runoff. I don't think it actually is, but all the trash goes through there, and the water doesn't seem like naturally flowing. It seems like there's a pattern where they cleared a path just in case water goes through that way. But obviously over here they have all this catfish. It's intended for water. I don't know if water doesn't store up on this side. I just don't understand it. There's water right there if you can't see it. I didn't know it was gonna keep raining like this, man. Wasn't supposed to, but it's fine. A little water never hurt anyone. Soul Bra talks about how he thinks best when it's sunny and the sun always follows him. That's good. But for me, I have my best thoughts and my most energy when it's stormy. If I hear thunder, my energy goes up 300%. So I'm Soul Bra's strongest soldier, but it's a little bit, that's how I'm a little bit different from him. It's good. So picture your dream life. What are you removing from it? Now picture giving your kids their dream life. What do they have access to? For example, processed foods, extremely processed foods, fast foods. I don't know if the majority of people would be able to get rid of that on their own or out of their own choice. It's better just to take it away from them. And that's the hard part about today's governmental health, is that they have all the power in the world to do exactly what they're doing, which is enforce what they believe is healthy on everyone else. The thing is, they're just wrong about it. And you have to be not okay with that, but you have to be okay with the logic behind it. As in the ability to enact governance on a population. We get this confused a lot because we're taught, based off our principles of freedom, that we should be constantly in charge of our own agency. I'll rephrase it. We're constantly in charge of our own choices or opportunities because we get to decide things, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just not true. We're taught this reality, but it's not true. It's like the illusion of choice. And then it's used against us in terms of things like fast food, because if you could vote for morbidly obese people not to get fast food, everyone would vote for it. Make it illegal for them to, I guess. Except if you're morbidly obese, then you're gonna say, well, that's not fair. I wanna choose to poison myself, I guess. And you have to think, where am I morbidly obese like that? You have to consciously consider what should be forced to give up. It's usually a vice. You're probably not gonna get rid of it yourself. You gotta make other people give it up for you. That's really my point. So what are you gonna have to do for, I'm sorry to say, but for you to be the guy people need you to be, you're gonna have to decide that for yourself and other people. It takes a lot more energy to do that, and you're gonna have to do it. It's your responsibility, you're aware of it now. So what is it? An easy answer would be internet altogether, but it's too much of a tool. So you're gonna have to give up. You're gonna have to go through and give up certain companies. You're gonna have to give up for your community, or let's say our community. We're gonna have to consciously give these things up, even if it hurts us a little bit, and then create alternatives that are healthier for everyone. It's possible. It's hard, but it's possible. And I've talked about this before. Sadly, because you're aware of the problem, it's now your responsibility, and you're gonna have to work 300 times harder than any other generation. Our ancestors recognized they had to do this for a better world, and a lot of instances were they able to pull it off somewhat. And that's what left us with better technology, better systems of life, but it still left us with a lot of problems. And we have to do more because they give us the ability to do more. You're a free thinker, that's why you're watching this. And it's your responsibility now, it's mine too. But that's the burden we have to bear, and we'll make it fun. We'll make it adventurous. You may not realize it till the end. It'll feel like you're just trying to do the right thing according to God and nature, but we'll get there. So let me know what you think. Jared on an Island, peace.